welcome to the show. Everything's working here pretty well. Possibility of more problems coming our direction as we get into the next several minutes, as we see again the potential for more storms forming into the area. Not much in the way of severe weather, but we do have again the potential of that, so that is something that we're really going to have to watch. Excuse me for tonight. All right, let's go ahead and get Facebook added in here, and we'll get everybody updated on what we are looking for, so stay tuned, and here we go. Wow. All right, Thursday evening, it is just past, just about 10 till 10 Eastern time. We are live to you coming from downtown Chattanooga with our exclusive video weather blog, Weather Overtime, giving you an idea as to what is going on. We've got some active conditions out there for tonight, and depending on what happens, we are watching for the possibility of maybe some severe weather taking place. So it is possible we may have to curtail this netcast and get on the air with severe weather warnings, depending on what happens. So if this comes to a close very quickly, we'll try to get on with another weather overtime a little bit later on to replace this one, because of the fact that, again, we've got some problems out there. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. Questions about the forecast, if you would like to, we're on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. If you'd like to tune in on any of those other segments right there, please feel free to do so. It is, again, like I said, just about 10 o'clock Eastern time, and the National Weather Service, the Storm Prediction Center, issues what are called mesoscale discussions. And what you're looking at here was issued just about a half an hour ago or so, maybe a little bit more than that, but the area shaded in red, which includes northeastern areas of Alabama. This discussion, when the National Storm Prediction Center issues these, that's their way of saying this is the area we're focusing on to see what's happening next with severe weather when it comes to either watches or anything in the way of advisories being posted. So northeast Alabama, you're in this target zone, as well as far western parts of the News 12 viewing area in Tennessee, Grundy and Marion counties especially. Most of this into middle Tennessee, south of Nashville, and down toward Huntsville. Now, this is issued on a temporary basis. This does not guarantee a watch, but it means that it is possible. In this case, we're looking at a 40% chance of a watch being issued. So that is something, again, we're going to have to monitor here. We'll come back and talk about the current situation in just a little bit. High temperature today above normal, but not close to our regular record high temperature back in 1983, and officially no rainfall. We've got a surplus for the month, but also, again, we're closing in on that half a foot deficit for the year. It's been a very dry year for 2026. We could definitely use some help where that is concerned. Downtown Chattanooga, it is quiet, not seeing any signs of problems right now, but if you watch out past Lookout Mountain in this general direction, you may see some lightning strikes happening, some flashes of light on the 1% List Scenic City camera. All of our cameras available on the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam network page, if you'd like to take a look there to see what we're seeing. Right now, we've got temperatures pretty mild. It's 85, nearing 11 o'clock Eastern time. So we've got some very toasty numbers out there. Heat index, again, 10 o'clock Eastern time, I should say. Heat index of 93. Dew point temperature, once you start going over 60, 65 degrees, that's very uncomfortable. 70s is basically downright oppressive when it comes to all that moisture in the atmosphere. But for right now, we are also, for the good news, we are looking at less in the way of smoke. We've got light smoke across much of the entire eastern half of the country, and that includes the News 12 viewing area. This data is coming to you courtesy of the VEERS satellite system, and that keeps an eye on both the wildfires that you see and the plumes of smoke, darker plumes of smoke south and east of Birmingham, north of Jackson, Mississippi, and especially well up into around the northern plain states. It looks like we have another burst of smoke coming in from areas up around British Columbia and into around the mid-plain states. The wildfires out west spewing out this smoke. Now, will this reach us well on down into the News 12 viewing area? Kind of iffy at this point, but we're going to watch that and see if our air quality is going to suffer. It doesn't look like it for right now, but it is something that we do need to pay attention to. As it comes to allergies, we don't have a lot going on. We do have an increase in the amount of grass pollen that is now at moderate, matching the weed pollen from yesterday. Tree pollen remains low. Mold spores remain at high. So that is, again, not seeing a terrible situation, but it's also not as clear or good for allergy sufferers as it could be. So some good news on the table there. When it comes to radar, this is what we've been focusing on today, as we have the best potential of showers and thunderstorms coming up over the next several hours. Now, what we also have is, again, southwest of the News 12 viewing area into around central Mississippi, western Alabama, extreme southeastern Arkansas, and northeastern parts of Louisiana. A severe thunderstorm watch has been issued. That's in effect until 10 o'clock Central, so that's got about another hour to go. Numerous severe thunderstorm warnings over the area around Jasper and down towards Smith, Mississippi. We also, I should remind, well, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Severe thunderstorm warning for northwest Jackson County. We also have several areas, a tornado watch for the Delmarva Peninsula and a severe thunderstorm watch for coastal Virginia and into the Chesapeake Bay waterway. That, again, is over to the east and moving away from us, so not that much going on for us here. But we do have, again, just issued a couple of minutes before I went on with this newscast, we have a developing thunderstorm moving back to the north of the Huntsville area, and that storm you're looking at right in the center of your screen, it's barely putting out any lightning, but the National Weather Service in Nashville felt it was important to issue a severe thunderstorm warning for this, which is in effect until 9:45 Central Time. So this has a long way to go as this storm again continues, it looks like, to develop slowly. Doesn't have a lot of power behind it, but it does again possibly become severe. So we'll watch and see what the National Weather Service has to say about what's going on here. Let me check the warnings real quick and see what we've got going on. Severe thunderstorm warning for northwest Jackson County until 9:45 Central. Severe thunderstorm located near Huntland or 15 miles northeast of Moore's Mill. This is moving east at about 15 miles per hour. National Weather Service Huntsville estimates this to have wind gusts of 60 miles per hour. There was a threat of hail from these storms. We don't see that in this particular scan for right now. We should again remind everybody that if you are planning on traveling tonight, these storms could cause a lot of slowdowns on the roadway, so something to watch out for. Farther to the west, northwest of Huntsville, back around Florence, and right smack on the Alabama-Tennessee line, we've got plenty of activity here in the far left-hand corner of your screen. We've got severe thunderstorm warnings for Lauderdale, Alabama, now moving into Limestone County, Alabama, moving east. That one also moving at about 15 miles per hour. If that holds together, that might make its way within the next hour or so toward Jackson County, Alabama, in the News 12 viewing area. So that is something we have to watch there. Another severe thunderstorm warning, well, that one was taken care of back around Giles, Tennessee. And then this one, again, is the one we're watching for right now as that system continues over to the east at about 15. Now, none of these are threats to the Chattanooga area or Hamilton County for right now, but this is a part of a line that's developing heading to the east-southeast that's stretching all the way from the 4075 junction around Knoxville down into northwestern Alabama. So we will see more activity like this in the next couple of hours. Now, taking a look around Ray, Meigs, McMinn, and Monroe counties, we've had a few thunderstorms here. The counties that you see lighting up, This is not, excuse me, a severe thunderstorm warning. This is one step below a warning. This is a special weather statement. This is issued when storms are approaching severe status, but not quite there just yet. So numerous storms around Athens, either side of I-75, generally moving east at about 15 miles per hour. Strongest storm approaching the Farragut area, right around the 4075 junction. That's heading toward western Knox County there. So more activity like this into the course of the next couple of hours. Not out of the question that any of these could become severe at any point in time. So please be ready for that. Have your severe weather plan ready to go just to be on the safe side. Know where to go to should that become a threat. Northeast Alabama, northern Georgia, rounding out our round robin here. Nothing going on really of any consequence for right now. That severe thunderstorm warning for northwest Jackson, yes, but that's it. Nothing in Georgia at this time, and right around the Tennessee-Georgia line, also not much of anything happening for the time being. We've got a storm system that has been making its way southward, but it's been impeded by the progress of all of this warm, moist air being buffered up this way by high pressure over the Gulf, and this is what is going to be responsible for stirring up showers and thunderstorms overnight. So we will watch for the potential of more in the way of possible strong weather tonight. What are we looking for in the way of severe weather? We'll talk about that coming up here in just a little bit. For the next about 3 days, high pressure is going to continue to build that moisture-rich, very hot air off the Gulf. Temperatures back toward Little Rock for a third day in a row around 106 degrees, roasting out west. We've got several storm systems trying to make their way through from the northwest, but all they're going to do is make it about as far south as our area and then get buffered back by that area of high pressure. And we shouldn't see much of anything through the weekend because these storms are going to be just enough dry air and just weak enough to where they shouldn't be able to force any development over the area for right now. And that heat, notice again around Greenville, Jackson, the Mid-South area, could be some nasty stuff going on there that we really do need to watch out for. And then by Monday, maybe the potential of some leftover thunderstorms rolling on through that could give us the potential of some problems out there into the early part of next week. So that might be something to keep on your calendar as we go into next week as we monitor those situations. No severe weather expected out of those yet. But again, that is something we really do need to watch. Now, severe weather chances for the rest of this evening. This is brand new information issued about an hour ago from the Storm Prediction Center. The key in the upper right-hand corner there, marginal, the 1 out of 5 lowest potential for severe weather in dark green. Yellow, 2 out of 5 slight risk category. So from roughly Chattanooga to the southwest, that'll be the best potential of severe weather. Again, the Storm Prediction Center has not chosen to issue a watch just yet. Was only about a 40% chance of that happening, but we'll watch that to see what goes on, no pun intended. This, again, is for the next couple of hours, and as the threat goes south of us, that should bring to an end any severe threat for tonight. Now, we also see the worst potential out of these storms is going to be damaging thunderstorm winds, flash flooding, damaging winds, tornadoes, and also the possibility of hail. Lightning is not a severe thunderstorm marker or characteristic because a lot of thunderstorms have lightning, but severe weather is not measured in that particular parameter. So damaging winds 55 miles per hour plus could be a possible problem there. We did have the potential of hail across the area. That has been removed mainly back over to our north and east, and from Lake Superior all the way down to the high plains could be a possible problem there with severe weather going on. Low temperatures tonight back in the high 60s to around the low 70s, so any plans for getting out and about tonight, shirt sleeve weather to be completely, totally honest about that. Now tomorrow we will have some clouds across the area coming and going. In between those clouds where the sunshine can make its way on through, we will see some pretty toasty temperatures into the high 90s possibly here and there. Higher elevations, Blue Ridge, Appalachians, back into the plateau area. probably mid to high 80s, so maybe some decent fluctuations there. One disturbance developing back to the south of Iceland, and that making its way over toward the east-southeast. A 20% chance of anything developing here, according to the National Hurricane Center. That will be affecting, if it holds together, that will be affecting Spain and Portugal. Not as a hurricane, might become a tropical depression, but a little iffy on that. We are still watching a couple of disturbances making their way through the area of the Pacific, including this marker of a swirl into the area southeast of Hawaii. Now that is now, okay, that is now a tropical depression. This is tropical depression 2C into the central Pacific, so this could be a bit of an issue here. This looks to be, for right now, passing south of the Hawaiian Islands, following Lala's path. Very possibly there, that could be a bit of a problem for a vacation in Hawaii. Now beyond that, we have not just one, but two other disturbances here just off the Central American coast, and those will be heading on through. You can see that one swirl of energy right there to the south, due south of Baja. That's number one. And then farther over to the east of that, closer to Central America, a stronger storm system which has an 80% chance of development there. So a lot going on in the tropics. Not a threat to the United States. Good news on that. Remember, it only takes one storm to cause a lot of problems and to give somebody a very, very bad day. So time to pay attention to what's going on with the forecast there. Island Cove Marina and Resort, all of our cameras on the EPB Fiber Optics Weather Cam page. You can reach that by going to WDEF.com/weather if you'd like to know more about that and see the cameras for yourself. Not much to determine, again, for tonight. Anything in the way of problems with storms. Some, yes, and there will be some leftover potential of showers and thunderstorms. A minute amount in the morning, better potential of 30% into around the afternoon and evening, about the time the kids get out of school, and a lot of Friday night football tomorrow. So there could be some interruptions, some weather delays if these storms form and if they hold together. That's some big conditional phrases right there, but that's the way these storms work at this time of the year, given current conditions. So something to watch out for tomorrow night if you're heading out to any football games. Hot and humid and mainly sunny for the weekend. Not expecting rain or thunderstorms here. National Waffle Day on Monday. That will be toasty, close to normal in the low 90s. And then as we get into the end of this next week, this is where the problems start. Over here, again, the next eclipse will be a partial lunar coming up next Thursday night into Friday morning. However, with the chances of showers and thunderstorms developing, this is the possibility of us viewing this eclipse is starting to look a little iffy at this time. As we close in on that and we get closer to that date, we'll let you know more about what we can expect, what we're going to be seeing and what we're going to be expecting to see if the skies are clear. This partial lunar eclipse will begin at about 10:33 Eastern time. It goes very gradually again as the Earth and the Moon do that dance around each other, and we start seeing the Earth's shadow being cast over the lunar surface very generally at first, and then we go toward full eclipse. A partial eclipse means not the entire. There's going to be a small sliver of the moon that will not be covered. If we can see it, this is going to be dramatic and beautiful and very incredible to witness something like this that scared the living daylights out of our ancestors a long time ago. The peak part of the eclipse will be next Thursday night into Friday morning, just past midnight Eastern time. Most of the moon should turn this dark brick red color, and then the eclipse will be over with as the shadow passes away, going to about 3 o'clock Eastern time. And again, that is if we are able to actually see it. So right now it's iffy. We'll see how well that begins into the area for later on tonight and keep you updated on that. as we go throughout the rest of the week. Hopefully, again, it looks good, but with those storms entering the forecast toward next week, it's going to be difficult to say whether or not we get to see this. Again, clouds interfering with an eclipse, that's one of the most disappointing things out there. It's part of weather, and unfortunately, that's the way it goes with eclipses. We almost missed the last solar eclipse because of clouds a couple of years ago. So we're hoping for the best, but unfortunately, we have to be ready for the worst on that to see how things work out there. Don't forget, if you are a weather photographer and you have a snapshot or two that you would like to enter into this year's photo contest, the World Meteorological Organization, the Weather and Science Branch of the United Nations, does a yearly calendar where they take photos about weather from all over the world. The winners don't get any cash prize, but you do get your picture featured in a calendar, which again will be featured all over the planet. That, you have to admit, is pretty cool. The deadline was about 4 days ago. The World Meteorological Organization has extended the deadline until the 23rd of August. So you've got about 3 more days to get your entry in. How do you do that? Go to wmo.int/calendar/2027. If you need that, again, drop me an email, aonek@wdef.com, and we'll talk more about that as we go throughout the next several days. Not too much happening. Again, into the morning, we should see a reduction in the chances of showers and thunderstorms toward about first coffee and breakfast. Whether or not we get there or not, we'll have to wait and see how well that goes. But again, we'll take a look at that into the morning with News 12's Chip Chapman. So stay tuned for more details on that to see what we've got going on. I'm going to curtail the graphics here for just a second as we exit out of this and take a look at the current situation on our News 12 radar. What we've got, the News 12 radar system, it's not our radar. We borrow the National Weather Service office, but again, our radar is just a misnomer there. Apologies for that. Not much, again, for now. These thunderstorms that did have the area that you see kind of clicking off around Monroe County, the special weather statement, those thunderstorms appear to be, again, falling apart, diminishing. So I doubt they're going to be keeping those special weather statements around here for any time soon. That's in effect until about 10:30 Eastern time, and that will be over with here in about 15 minutes, give or take. And then let's go over to Alabama, where we do still have a little bit more activity happening. We're concerned primarily northwestern Jackson County. We have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for northwestern Jackson at this point. That expires in just shy of about half an hour or so. See if we have an update from the National Weather Service in and around that area in regards to what is going on. Limestone and Lauderdale counties, Alabama, remain under a severe thunderstorm warning for now. The severe thunderstorm warning does remain in effect until 9:45 for northwestern Jackson County in the News 12 viewing area. Severe thunderstorm near Huntland, 16 miles southwest of Winchester, moving east at approximately 15. Possibility of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with this particular storm. And then following that up, those storms back to the west of that, moving in northwest of Huntsville and just approaching I-65. Those are looking particularly healthy. Not too much to show in the way of lightning. Let's get the lightning markers back on here. Usually with lightning, the one thing that we notice is when a storm is growing in intensity, we will see an uptick in the amount of lightning strikes. And if you take a look in the upper right-hand corner, we see again a decent amount below the EPB logo. We've got a very good uptick. We start off with about 150 lightning strikes, and we are now up to 477. So that's a marked increase, which means this storm and a new severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued west of Huntsville. That's in effect until 10:15 Central as those storms spread to the east-southeast. The storms around the area of northwest Jackson It doesn't look entirely like a huge threat, but around High Top, Larkin, around the Coptown area into Tennessee, north of Baileytown, looks like we're picking up a bit of a break in the thunderstorms. Kind of neat to be able to see this here. If you take a look, I'm going to draw this on the screen real quick. Notice this kind of curve that we're seeing here as part of that thunderstorm starts to push energy out in the atmosphere, and that means you've got an outflow boundary taking place. That's a gust of air moving away from the storm, which at this time looks like it is diminishing a little bit. So for right now, that hopefully is showing this is starting to diminish, but we'll wait to see how well that goes. Let me switch over here real quick to velocity mode and make certain that we're not getting anything in the way of any problems. What we look for is air on one side moving in one direction and air on the other side moving in another direction, which shows us where the possibility may be of a developing tornado vortex. Now, we're not seeing that at quarter past the hour, but it is still possible. But it doesn't look like the National Weather Service and these storms are geared for a huge amount of rotation or power, and we still haven't seen a watch being issued across the area. So far things are decently quiet. National Weather Service Huntsville does have the tendency to issue warnings a little bit more readily, so we'll see whether or not that pans out or if any more warnings are issued. But I want to have the weather radio ready to go just in case. Keep your phone charged in case you lose power. And if you see storm damage, please report that to the National Weather Service. They would love to know about that. But please, and most importantly, please remain safe as you go out and about into overnight. Going to be pretty steamy into the weekend. Again, things relatively quiet for now. We're not seeing any active major threat as of quarter past 10 o'clock Eastern, 9:15 Central Time in the News 12 viewing area counties. So we'll continue to monitor this. We'll of course have an update coming up on News 12 at 11 on the late edition. Have to thank again everybody for being our sponsors on this, including Epicos Comics, Cards, and Games. You can reach them at epicosccg.com if you'd like to stop by and support your local comic book shop. Don't wait for Free Comic Book Day. If we don't, again, support our local businesses like comic book stores, we will lose them. So please make certain you stop by and spend a few bucks to help get that local economy boost going on. Chip Chapman has your forecast coming up in the morning, bright and early at 5 a.m., and I'll be back into tomorrow to get you geared up for the weekend. Again, questions, concerns, complaints, if you must, blue bar down beneath. And again, you can reach all of us on our website, WDEF.com. My email address, aonek@WDEF.com, if you'd like to reach me directly. Thanks to everybody on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook for tuning in tonight, live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek from the News 12 studios on Broad Street in downtown Chattanooga. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you again coming up tonight at 11 and again on Friday.